So there are a ton of YouTubers who are quitting right now. There's Game Theorists, Meat Canyon, Stampy, Tom Scott, just a lot of big names, and they have that luxury. You know, they've made their wealth on YouTube. They've been in it for a long time, and you know, it's easy for them to be like, all right, I'm out, bye. You know, they're mentioning being burned out, doing too much, wanting to spend more time with family. And it's not just big YouTubers. I've been getting an influx of these small content creators being recommended to me on my YouTube who only have a couple thousand subscribers, and they're posting goodbye videos. This one, for example, is from a creator named Costopia. He just makes videos about roller coasters. And he mentioned in the video that he had a bunch of success from one video and then it just started trailing off and it killed his motivation. This is happening all the time now on every platform. Big creators are quitting, mid-size, small, everyone. I've been a full-time content creator for the past 3 years now, and I've been making content on the internet for well over a decade. And there are details about content creation that I think a lot of people don't talk about. Now, let me start by saying I don't intend to complain. That's not what I'm doing at all. To complain is to be dissatisfied, and I'm not dissatisfied. This is an amazing job. I love it so much. It's an amazing career. It's all I ever think about. And weirdly enough, I think that's a part of the problem. It's like an addiction, and there are several factors that feed it, not just the actual job in itself, but also these platforms do not help it at all. Number one, the landscape is constantly changing. Monetization on Facebook and Instagram, TikTok is just always changing drastically. Like out of nowhere, and you don't really get a heads up. It just happens. You wake up one morning and they essentially just tell you, hey, you're going to be making a lot less money. We're going to dress it up and make it seem like this is beneficial for you, but you're going to have to read between the lines and realize this is actually going to really, really hurt you, because they're companies. They're never going to be like, hey, you're going to make a lot less money. They'll never say that. They're always going to dress it up and act like it's this great thing. And you have to sift through the bullshit and figure out, okay, how much am I going to be making on this next change? I've personally experienced this multiple times. I think if you are a content creator in any capacity, you're going to experience it many, many times. And that's terrifying. That's terrifying, because in the grand scheme of things, this is a brand new career, and these platforms are still figuring things out and how to distribute money and what's cost effective and what is a waste of time. Especially short content is not nearly as monetizable. So it's just a lot of these companies are just trying to figure things out. And these platforms are giving creators a lot of incentives a lot of the time. Like Instagram has the bonuses, Facebook has the bonuses, the bonus for they just give you thousands of dollars every month just to upload videos. And then they realize that's not profitable and they just suddenly take it away out of nowhere. A year ago, 1 month I made like 12 grand just in Instagram bonuses. And then the next month I made zero. So imagine losing $12,000 out of nowhere. TikTok has the creativity program, which is they pay you ad revenue for 1 minute plus content. That just had a change this past month where certain pieces of content aren't as valuable anymore, and it ruins people's RPM, which is revenue per 1,000 views. And suddenly you go from thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to what you're currently doing is not profitable anymore and not even enough to make a full-time living. And I've seen dozens of creators talk about that and how this new update has torpedoed their earnings. And there's people out there who have children and families, and for them to go from $12,000, $14,000, $15,000 a month to nothing, that's a mind fuck. And because of this, because you don't know what your income is going to be like on a day-to-day basis, there's a constant need to please an algorithm. There's a constant need to sift through a bunch of trends and formats and formulas and thumbnails and hashtags and like all of these things. And you get so hyper-focused on these things. It takes so much out of the actual creative process. Creators live in a constant fear of the algorithm forgetting about them, which in turn feeds into the pressure of, oh, I can't stop. I have to keep going. I have to be very consistent or else I'm going to get left behind. Because if you take a break for too long, the views stop, the brand deals stop, the money stops, everything stops. And heaven forbid, if it all stops and you have to get back into the workforce, you don't have the skill set to make that happen. You've been working at this for so long. You don't have the skills and the experience that a lot of these companies are looking for. So you're going to be without a job for God knows how long. And here's the thing, you don't even want to be there in the first place because all you want to do is make videos. You decided to take a break for a while, or you had a down period and now you're financially struggling. So you had to get back out there and do a normal job that you hate. And that's weirdly another problem in itself, because if you're creating things that you're actually passionate about and really interested in and want to engage with, you get burned out on that too, because you're creating content about it every day and it suddenly becomes about money and deals and consistency and pressure. Another big reason why creators are getting burned out is because the chase of a viral video. Viral videos are overrated. They really are. I've seen how much they can make you, and I've seen the impact of one. And yes, it can change your life in many ways, but it could also really torpedo your career, especially if you get a viral one way too quickly. And that's a very, very, very common problem that I'm seeing, especially with a lot of new creators right now, because what happens is these companies are all competing right now. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, they're all competing for long form and short form videos. And they want as many creators as humanly possible getting in on this, because that means more money for them, more content, more everything. What they're doing is they're giving people viral videos quickly. They'll give a creator a viral video on a piece of content that normally would do maybe slightly above average, but in all actuality, it's not the best, but it's good. It's just not, 30 million views good. They will give them that 30 million views. And suddenly these creators get this influx of traffic and followers, all from this one thing. Not only do these creators have such an immense amount of pressure to follow up on that, but also it kind of leads them in the wrong direction, because it's not actually their best. They're still learning. They're still learning the process and how to get an actual format down that's going to make consistent revenue and views and an actual legitimate following. But this format kind of leads them in the wrong direction, because suddenly this new content creator is thinking, oh, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. Facebook showed me the way. They just gave me 30 million views on this video. And then the views start going down. The followers go down. Everything starts going down because they're following this format that's not actually a winning format. And then their confidence and motivation wanes. But these platforms can't pay everyone, especially Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. Like, they can't pay everyone. Hundreds of thousands of creators are left in the dust after one little successful hit. And by this point, their motivation is gone at this point. And it's not even about actually making content on things that they enjoy or things that they're passionate about. No, it's more about pleasing the algorithm, trying to do things to get back on the algorithm's good side. And it's not about improving the format. It's not about refining what they're doing. It's just a desperate, mad scramble to appease this invisible thing that's just controlling everything. And then what happens from there is you start doing shit that's not you. You start acting differently. You start giving more energy in parts where you normally wouldn't, and doesn't reflect your personality at all.
Facts about introverts that are backed by science. Introverts have social tendencies.
You start making these really overly complicated edits in your videos that you normally wouldn't do, when you normally would have just let the moment sit and just let what you're saying carry. But these apps and these gurus are telling you, you gotta make the shot change every 1 second. You gotta do this, and you gotta fucking add a transition, and you gotta Mission Impossible blockbuster this shit, or else everyone's gonna scroll away and nobody will care. And then spend more time on thumbnails and making them bright as hell. And there's just this huge pressure to create something eye-catching, as opposed to something honest and something that's actually true to who you are. And that sucks. It sucks. I've done that. I've done that. There are so many videos I have put out in my time that aren't me. Lastly, nobody outside of content creation takes it seriously. You talk to anyone in our family, you're just sitting there making videos in your boxers. How hard can that be? Why don't you be like my buddy Greg? Okay, he's out there in the coal mines. He's making Kingsford charcoal every day. He's the reason why you can make your barbecue. He's out there filling his lungs with soot for 40 grand a year, so you can eat your riblets. But nobody sees the 14 hours a day that you spend editing in front of a computer. Nobody sees the hours and hours and hours of writing and focusing on your brand and figuring out how to brand yourself correctly, visually and aesthetically. Nobody sees the hours and hours and hours you put into creating merch. Nobody sees the photos that you take for the merch. Nobody sees the hours that you put into your website that you built yourself. Nobody sees the hours of learning on YouTube how to do Facebook ads, or because that's another thing with content creation. You have to do all of the things, all of them. You have to be a photographer, a marketer. You have to know how to film things and make them look good. You know, there's so many different elements. It's like 7 different careers in one, or you kind of have to know how to do all of it to a certain degree, especially at this point when everything is so competitive. There's so many creators and it's getting so overly saturated. Yes, this is a very great job and it's so fun. And I really don't want to do anything else. I really, really don't. I refuse, actually, at this point. I refuse to do anything else. But no one sees that content creators on average work way longer than the average person. And then when we're not working, our headspace is full of content ideas or trying to get ahead for the next day. Because if we don't do that and we don't stay on our tippy toes, we're going to get left behind. And my girlfriend has started making videos this past year and she's on the YouTube grind now. And I've started to see it with her, just like the immediate pressure that all of this puts on you. You start forgetting to eat. You start forgetting to do laundry and dishes and taking care of your surroundings or being with your family or your friends. That's how consuming it can be. That's what happened to me because when COVID hit, I was working in marketing. I ran a marketing business and then COVID hit and I lost almost all my clients because most of my clients were in the service industry, and they all had to shut down and cut back on their marketing spend. I just had nothing. And I just had a full-on panic attack meltdown and just like, screw it. I'm going all out. I'm going all the way in on content creation. I have to. I've wanted to for so long now. This has to become my full-time job because now I don't have a choice. I got sucked into this cycle, not just because of the actual cycle itself, but also because of COVID. So I very quickly stopped taking care of myself and I got really depressed. Like, I'm about to throw up a slide right here, but you can see the dark circles under my eyes and the skinny cheeks, and it can really screw with you mentally. It can ruin your mental health. Let me reiterate, I'm not complaining and saying that this is the hardest job in the world. It's not. There are so many other jobs that are harder. It's just important to take care of yourself because a lot of creators completely forget how to do that. All right, that's my time. Thank you.